My name's Ava and I run the vintage style jewellery business called Splendette. I did a video of me getting ready a couple of weeks ago, and one of the questions was asking for a hair tutorial. So here I am on this lovely glorious Saturday filming a hair tutorial. So first things first, this tutorial that I'm doing is quite a basic kind of a heat set. There are so many ways of curling your hair. This is a really quick kind of way of doing it. I tend to do this if I haven't got much time, if I've kind of run out of time to do a wet set and it's not got time to dry out, or if I just really need to kind of be in and out quickly, then this heat set is what you should really be, this heat set is a really good thing to do. It's not great for your hair, obviously, because it uses quite a lot of heat. So it's not something that you can do every day. Whereas a wet set you can do every day and maintain actually quite healthy hair. So what we're going to do is just go through it. It's also not the most technically difficult one, which is kind of why I thought it would be a good idea to start with it, to be honest, because it means that it's like a simpler one for people to do. And it's, while it gets the desired effect, it doesn't necessarily, you'll see what I mean in a bit, but you don't have to kind of do as much technical stuff to get the effect. Now, as you can see, my hair's freshly washed. I prefer to do this on myself, on freshly washed hair, or hair that's like maybe a day or two from being washed if it's got a bit of product in it. If it's at all greasy, I find it kind of can be a bit flat. So I prefer to have it kind of nice and freshly washed, but you can kind of do it on whatever hair. It's just kind of just experiment really and see what works best for you. So yeah, you can see my hair is this kind of length. I kind of get it cut so that it's like a lot shorter at the front going down to the back. That's because that's the best cut for setting hair, but it's not, but it's grown out quite a lot because you can see, yeah, we're in lockdown and I haven't been to the hairdresser since November. Look at my roots. So yeah, I've got lockdown roots, but never mind. I was hoping to do this once I'd had my roots done, but sadly, I don't think I can go to the hairdresser till April legally. So yeah. Anyway, let's get started. So the first thing is my hair's freshly washed, as I said. I will show you the bits and bobs that I use. So the first thing that I'll use is this. It doesn't have to be this one. I'd normally go for a firmer hold on this, but this is, I've got like 17 bottles of mousse around at the moment. I'm trying to finish them off. Just make sure as long as it's, if you're going to use this mousse, just make sure it's non-sticky. Mousse is just really good because you can pop it in your hair. It soaks in quite quickly and it dries quite quickly as well, because obviously you don't want to be applying heated tongs to anything that's wet. So yeah, I use a mousse, non-sticky, and then I use this, which is tail comb. I use this, which is like I think they call it a teasing brush. I don't know. I've heard it called many different things, but basically it's got the point at the end, and then it's kind of a brush out brush at the top, a bristle brush. And then these are my tongs that I'm going to use today. They're so old. I think these are probably they're at least 10 years old, 15 years old maybe. They're kind of the first tongs I ever had, and they're the ones I keep going back to. But they're just the pair of Babyliss. I think they might be three quarters of an inch barrel. But again, experiment with, my hair's relatively short and it's not the thickest, so a smaller barrel tends to work better for me because it holds more curl in it. Whereas people with lots of hair that hold a curl really well, you can probably get away with a slightly larger barrel, and it'll still hold a curl, but it'll make a really nice kind of wave. And then I'm also using just some hair grips or bobby pins, whatever you call them. These will just be used to hold it, so you can use any. I've got my fancy ones. Normally they're just like a rainbow of colours that don't even match because it doesn't really matter. They're not staying in my hair for long. And then finally we need some hairspray. I would love to find a good cruelty-free hairspray that holds as much as this does. I found one Kenra, but you can't get that without being a qualified hairdresser. So if anybody can suggest an amazing cruelty-free, really, really heavy hold hairspray, please do let me know. And then as well as that really firm hold hairspray, I just kind of have a working hairspray, which is a bit more like, a bit more malleable, and it won't, basically it's not going to set it to concrete. So yeah, you can pop this in, you can brush through afterwards and things, just to give a little bit of product into your hair. I also sometimes use this, which is a, oh, look at the label, awful. This, which is like, it's called Marcel Spray, and it's from a company called House of Druvid, and basically it's like a setting lotion spray. So it says it's for setting, for holding, for drying. So sometimes I will just give my hair a spritz of this through before curling it, just to give it a kind of a bit of extra product and a bit of extra purchase. Or once all of my curls are in, if I know that I've got a few hours before I have to brush my hair out, I'll then once all my curls are in, I'll spritz this all over and then leave it to dry for the day. Okay, so next thing to talk about is curling techniques. I'm going to use a heat curling technique. You can use wet curling techniques, which is called a wet set. This is a heat set. Basically, both what the heat and the water both do is they kind of make your hair more malleable, and as they either cool or dry, the shape that they've been put into while they were wet and or hot is then set into the hair as the hair becomes less malleable as it dries / cools. So the golden rules of getting a good set is, if you're doing a heat set, make sure it's cooled down fully before you take it out, and basically leave it as long as possible. And if you're doing a wet set, make sure it is completely dry, because once you start brushing it, you are going to lose the curls if it's not. That is why I'm doing this with no makeup on now, because what I tend to do is, if I'm kind of doing this before I go out for a night out, I'll put the curls in first, then faff around for a bit, then do my makeup, give the curls as much chance to cool as possible, and then brush it out just before I'm ready to go out. Ideally, I would do this first thing in the morning and then, you know, go about my day as normal with a headscarf on or whatever, and then just before I'm going out, then brush it out, like once I've done my makeup. But if time doesn't allow, just make sure you give it as much time as possible to cool down. So we can get started. As I said, I don't have loads of hair. I'm quite fair, not that it looks like hair because of my roots, but I'm quite fair, and so we tend to have blonde people tend to have finer strands, but more of them. I don't know if that's the case in mine, but I don't have loads of hair. So I part it on this side, and I tend to have my parting quite far over because, as you can see, I haven't been blessed with the best hairline, thanks Dad. So I tend to have my parting quite far over. And then I will get my mousse. Again, because my hair is quite fine and it's quite soft now, because I've been using a kind of bleach, then I do find I need quite a lot of product in it, but so I just get some mousse in it. and on the floor. Particularly try and get it in this front section here because you want lots of nice shaping and stuff there. Okay. That's just like an initial kind of on the top layer. Once, because obviously there's layers underneath. Once we get to those, you can also always add on a bit more mousse afterwards if you need to. I do feel like I put quite a lot of product on my hair because it just kind of, when I tend to have my hair done, it's because I'm going out for a night out, or I'm going dancing especially. And obviously you're going to like move around and sweat and things, so I do put quite a lot on my hair. But again, this is just how I do it. The great thing about doing vintage hair is it's not like one size fits all, so you experiment with what works for you. You can get the basic techniques down, like curling, whatever, and then kind of tweak it for whatever products you find work. Cool, so that's looking pretty much dry now that it's got the mousse on. Next thing to mention is that curling patterns. So a lot of people are really thorough with their curling patterns, and they're very nice and neat with their curling patterns. This method that I'm showing you is purely a quick get some shape into your hair so that you can get ready and go out. Like, it's not by in any means, as I said, a technical way of setting your hair. You can have, like, you know, a really nice parting down here and then really nice curls, and then people do a brickwork effect as well, so that like you've got two curls above each other and then one in the middle there, and then to make sure that you don't get any gaps. This technique is not going to be like that. This is purely like this is how I learned basically, and it was a great way to learn and figure out what my hair likes, how it reacts, and just figure out how to get some shape just quickly into my hair if I need to. So I'm not going to section it. I'm not going to be precious with the sectioning. I'm purely just going to go by how it feels and what my years of practice have taught me. So I start with this side. It's also worth mentioning that the curling technique that I'm going to use is one that kind of ensures that you get a lot of heat into this end. Ensures you get a lot of heat into the roots where you need it, and then the healthier hair basically, and then this end bit, which is going to be the least healthy part of your hair, is spared from having the heat on it for a long time. So I'll kind of pop it on like that, slide it down a bit, roll it round, nibble it down, go round again, nibble it down again. Now, when you're learning this technique, you will drop, I still do it now, like you'll drop the end and you have to start again when you're nibbling it down like this. But what you try and do is just nibble it down so you've got the end still. And then you just hold on to it until it's warm. You need asbestos fingers. Okay, so once you've got the curl like that, shouldn't use my teeth. Oh, that's lost it. Okay, so once you've got the curl like that, just take your bobby pin, your grip, pop it on. Voila. That's your first curl. So then you kind of just feel out your sections. I'll sometimes put a bit of spray on once I've done the curl, sometimes a bit on there. My hair just doesn't hold a curl very well, so I have to help it along with a lot of product. And again, down, turn it, nibble it down, turn it again, pull it down, turn it again. Can you see? It's in. Now just hold it for a few seconds. Make sure you just feel this outside and make sure your hair's not getting too hot. Once you kind of feel it getting warm, hot, pop your tongs out. Pop in another clip. So then we do that all over our head. What you should try and do, I am just doing this for speed really, I'm not doing it too thoroughly, but the more of these curlers you get in your hair, so if you could do four down there instead of 2, the better and stronger your set's going to hold. I find for my hair anyway. So for example here at the front, if I try and get like 3 curls in, then that's good, that's going to be a better shape for me. What you'll notice is I'm curling so that all the curls are going down like this, and then when I curl here, I will curl away from my parting like this. Some people curl backwards, but for this set I curl downwards, just always away from my parting. Again, not precious about, you know, the shape and stuff, but so then here, just feel out another section. I'll do. That's what this brush is really useful for, kind of getting in here with the, in case you've got a bit knotty from the mousse. And sometimes I'll give it a little bit of a spray. That's why you need a light one, because you don't really want it to hold in place. You just need a bit of extra product in there, for a bit of extra purchase in there. Okay, so that side is done. I'm now going to start on this section, and as I said, I always want quite a lot of shape in this section, so I do tend to put a lot of product on it. If you don't like the feel of this much product, by all means don't use it. But as I've said, I just feel to get mine to stay, I need quite a lot of help in that area. As you can see, if you have a look here, I've done quite a small section because I want to get quite a lot of curl in this area. Again, I have to flip my tongs around here because I'm right-handed. Again, in at the root, nibble it out, in at the root again, nibble it out. This way I just find gets heat along the whole length of the hair, whereas if you kind of clamp them on at the bottom and curl it up, you're not going to get, you're not going to get heat along the whole of the hair, as well as with this technique. Just burn myself. You will burn yourself as well. One little beauty there. Let's get another one in. Again, you can see just using my thumbnail really to separate them and figure out where I want to put it. Again, hairspray is a good one because it dries really quickly. So if you're going to put heat on my hair, if I'm putting heat on my hair, then it's dried by the time I get to putting the tongs on. Sometimes you will hear a little bit of a fizz, but Another option actually I've just thought of is instead of using these, I tend to find these grips are best, especially if I want to sleep in it. But you can also get little curl clips. I'll find one in a bit. So what you can do is a little squirt of this. It might be too powerful, like straight out of the bottle for some people's hair, like, but I quite enjoy the crunchiness that it gives me. It's more for putting on wet hair so that then the water in your hair kind of dilutes it, so that it's the correct strength, but I'm naughty. And at this moment, I'm still by the part. I'm still on here, so by my parting. So I will be going still down this way. It's probably worth mentioning I've been doing this for like 15 years on my hair probably. So I've had a lot of practice, and I'm still not like, I'm not saying that this is like a really this is the correct way to do it. This is just how I do it, and it gives me the desired effect. But it can take quite a while to get used to like how you want to do it, and to get the effect that you want. So don't feel like if it doesn't work for the first time, don't give up. Like, it's trial and error. You've got to try different products that work for you. You've got to try different tools that work for you. It's not by any means, you know, one way is the only way to do it. This is quite a thick section, so whoops. But I'm just rushing through now to get this. So again, see, I let go of the end there and then it drops, so you've got to start again. You will do that a lot when you're first, if you want to try this technique, you will do that a lot. Like, it will get frustrating, but you'll get there. Trick is to not open the tongs too much, because as soon as you open the tongs too much, the end's going to go ding. So I've done the sides, and now I'll just go back downwards as well, and finish off. I might be a bit naughty and do these in slightly larger sections because I'm just aware of the time. Okay, so that's all the curls in. I'm just going to give it a quick spray because we know I like it crusty. As I say, it's not technical in any way, but what it is really good for in learning to do it this way is it's really good for helping you to understand setting hair and how to get certain shapes in your hair. And it's also it's a quick way for you to be able to just experiment with different setting things like shapes and stuff. But yeah, this was like how I very, very first learned how to set hair. And it really kind of gave me a good understanding of why you do certain things and what creates certain shapes. So yeah, give it a try, and I will let all of this cool while I put my makeup on, and I'll be back once it's cooled and we can brush it out together. So, makeup's on, hair is cooled. Let's take these curls out. I'm a bit concerned about these because these were the ones I sprayed with setting lotion, but we'll see. So, as you can see, we've got some really nice curls in there now. Nice and springy, that's what you want. Lots of springy curls because you are going to have to brush through this now. And I know it can be a bit daunting, but if you've done the foundations right by setting it well, then you should be all right. So I'm just going to give it one last spray. I know. Give that a chance to dry out. So when I brush out my hair, depending on how it is, this is my brush of choice, or this one. They're both a similar kind of bristle. But again, this isn't kind of a hard and fast rule. I just prefer these for my hair, but you can use this is a Denman, but a bristle one, but you can use I think, is this bought? I don't know. But you can use like the plastic bristle one. I've even seen people use a wet brush, but for me, these are the brushes I prefer. I just kind of feel like it really gets in there and gets like the curls together nicely and stuff. I'm just gonna let this dry a bit more. Okay, so start brushing. Don't be afraid to brush. If you've done the curls right, they'll be fine. Oh, hello, what's going on there? There we go. And with the brush out, it's a case of kind of brushing all the curls so that they're together. And then you can kind of either give it a nice fluffy look like that, or you can brush underneath. If you brush it around your hand, you'll get a smoother look. If you kind of let it do its own thing, you can get a fluffier look. I'm quite enjoying a little bit of fluff at the moment, so I think I'm going to keep that like that. I tend to grip this side back. It's just how I prefer it. And then the front section, this is the fun bit. Yes. My hair needs a good chop. It's not the best at the moment, but then what I really like to do is have the swoop at the front. So what I'll do is I'll take my tail comb, take a section, back comb it, Back comb it, back comb it, back comb it. Tease it. That's what they call it in America, isn't it? I know it looks terrifying, don't worry. Back comb it. Keep going. You can do this in any other sections you want as well, but I tend to just do it at the front normally. But if you want to add a bit of volume somewhere, if you've got a straggler hanging down at the back, you can tease it into place. Back comb it. Last bit. So I kind of just do the bit that's like the front of my head, if you know what I mean, between these two bald bits. They're not bald. And then I'll either use again this brush or something, so you can see how much back combing's in there. But if you've done your curling right and given it, again, if you've given it longer, your curl stands more of a chance of holding. And I'll just hold it like, some people will put a you know, like a crocodile clip or something to hold it in place. I just hold it with my hand. I'm a bit low maintenance sometimes with my hair. You can see that it gives it a really nice shape. Get some fluff in there to fool people into thinking I've got a lot of hair. And you just kind of play with it really and place it until it gets into a shape that you're enjoying. That's quite nice. You can see here that I've got some bits that are falling down, so all I'll do with those is kind of give them a bit of a tease. Because my hair needs a cut and they're kind of probably a bit disjointed from the rest now. And that'll kind of just shorten it up a bit and get it up there. Now you just need the old faithful cement hairspray. I need a lot of this today because this has been a really quick set and my hair normally needs a lot longer. And again, you can just kind of, I wouldn't recommend touching it too much when you've got all this spray on, but if you've got like a little flyaway or something, you can just kind of zhuzh it away into place. There we go. Finally. I'm going to take away. And also, of course, earrings. But at least not going to take a look at this. And then finally, a hair flower. To finish it off. That's it done.